Collaborative art is any art created with other people, painting with others, sculpting with others. It all counts as collaboration. So, what happens when the creative process becomes entangled with the ebbs and flows of group dynamics? When people and art collide. Through the lens of Elias Canetti's book, Crowds and Power, a comprehensive catalog of crowd conduct, collaborative art becomes much deeper than the artwork it creates. Crowds and Power reveals that both the participants and coordinators of collaborations are motivated by principles of group behavior, and that these principles are integral to understanding why collaborative art produces such intriguing creations and provokes such bizarre behavior from its participants. My name is Logan Mosser, and I present to you Crowds, Power, and Collaboration. The most important occurrence within the crowd is the discharge. This is the moment when all who belong to the crowd get rid of their differences and feel equal. The discharge in a collaboration occurs as the creative action begins. It is the way in which participants begin to lose themselves in pursuing the goal of the art piece. The action that creates the discharge can take many forms: the furious slinging of paint, the fervorous thwacking of pool noodles, the round and round wrapping of fabric. Regardless of the type of artistic action, the result is the same. The status and social standing of each participant washes away as they all become equal artists. Collaborations shift one's focus from themselves to the whole group's objective. And in that shift of focus, participants free themselves from their burdens of distance. Collaborative art creates a baiting crowd, which forms with reference to a quickly attainable goal. Take Ringularity, where participants rolled paint covered marbles down fabric pulled into a hyperbolic funnel shape. The goal was to create a work of art with marbles, paint, and gravity. That goal was achieved when the fabric was suitably covered in paint. Triptych Collaboration involved the painting of 3 doors by a team of participants, and the collaboration was finished once both sides of all 3 doors had been painted. Once the goal is achieved, the collaboration disintegrates rapidly. Participants celebrate the achievement with cheering and laughter, and then get in their cars to drive home to wash the paint out of their clothes and hair. Collaborative art also fits within the classification of a closed crowd. In contrast to the open crowd, which can grow indefinitely, the closed crowd accepts limitation and creates a space for itself which it will fill. In a collaboration, this limitation in favor of longevity comes in the form of two variables: the medium and the environment. A collaboration sculpted from clay is completed using clay. A collaboration painted in paint is completed using paint. Medium also encompasses in what ways the paint or clay or other creative element can be used. In a collaboration called King Midas's Skate Park, a large sheet was spread out over the floor of a parking deck and then covered in globs of paint. Participants then skateboarded, scootered, and rollerbladed over the sheet, smearing paint over the makeshift canvas in long, energetic streaks. Participants were not permitted to touch the paint with their hands, and thus had to exercise their creativity by painting through the use of their various wheels. The medium of the collaboration focuses the participant's creative discharge towards a goal within that limitation. The next limitation of a collaboration is the environment it takes place in. A collaboration cannot spread past the setting created to contain it. In a collaboration called Lascaux 3, the walls of an apartment living room were covered in white bed sheets. Different groups of participants visited the apartment and painted cave paintings on the sheets, but they could not paint on the floors, furniture, or any of the walls not covered by sheets. The environment of the collaboration can be compared to a vessel into which liquid is being poured and whose capacity is known. The limitations of a collaborative art piece by no means stifle creativity. Participants create more freely when given a loose framework to create within, because they are not paralyzed by a myriad of endless options. Once spurred on their mission, the participants of a collaboration will bring the project to its natural completion. The discharge of creativity expels their inhibitions, and the clear goal gives them an objective to use that creativity in pursuit of. That said, this ignition of creative energy does not come about unprompted, just as it takes the twitch of an orchestra conductor's baton to begin a symphony. So too does it take the guidance of a coordinator to unleash the creativity of those participating in a collaboration. In the case of the orchestra conductor, quite small movements are all that he needs to wake this or that instrument to life. Once the conductor has prompted the ensemble to play, they carry forward almost automatically, only requiring slight suggestions or adjustments throughout their performance. In the same way, the coordinator of a collaboration must only guide participants to the point of creative discharge. Once the release of inhibition is achieved, the participants' enthusiasm and creativity will provide ample momentum. The coordinator's guidance up to the point of discharge consists of two elements: direction and encouragement. The orchestra conductor must give direction because the code of laws, in the form of a score, is in his hands. Members of the ensemble are instructed to play softer or louder, more gently or more energetically, based on the conductor's discretion. The collaboration coordinator's book of laws has to do with the earlier discussed limitations of medium and environment. During the collaboration, Ringularity, direction was required to dissuade a participant from drizzling paint on the canvas with her fingers. The objective of the collaboration was to remove human hands from the creative process, instead relying on gravity to do the painting, and thus her action was not appropriate within the collaboration. More important than guiding direction is hearty encouragement. In a well-led ensemble, every player feels that the conductor sees him personally, and still more, hears him. When a musician plays a solo with feeling and passion, the conductor must praise the soloist. When a group of musicians at last masters a tricky part of the music, the conductor must compliment them for their efforts. Being the coordinator of a collaboration is no different. During the collaboration Raman battle, encouragement fueled the participants as they reached their creative discharge. Calling each participant by name and praising them for their fervor amplified their enthusiasm, as well as motivated the other participants around them. Collaborative art sparks a discharge in its participants, a surge of creativity and loss of inhibition that makes equal artists of all involved. Within a collaboration is a clear and achievable goal meant to ignite the participants' creativity. The medium and environment of a collaboration are limited in order to focus the participants' creative discharge towards that goal. The coordinator of the collaboration directs and encourages the participants, starting and then maintaining the endeavor to its completion. Collaborative art uses the principles of group behavior detailed in Crowds and Power in order to help individual participants realize their own innate creativity. Each of the four elements, discharge, goal, limitation, and coordination, contribute towards cultivating an environment where creativity blossoms. Collaborative art does not require years of strenuous training or an expensive art studio. All it requires is a few people who share a desire to discover their creativity.